Hi, this is Shruti.
Hi, I'm Shukti.
Hey, it's Shreeya. And welcome back to Need a Natter. Woo-hoo! We're back again. Woo-hoo.
We're nattering.
How is everybody today?
Nothing much going on with me. I will be travelling out in a day or two to go and try on some wedding outfits.
Road trip.
But yeah, that's the...
Festive road.
Yeah, and then we're road tripping it back to Mumbai from Delhi, which is about 20 hours road trip, but that should be fun.
That's a road trip and a half.
Yeah, if we survive this road trip, then maybe we are supposed to get married to each other. I will let you guys know in a few days.
That's a true test, doing a 20-hour road trip with your partner. Yeah, I can't even contemplate how that would play out for my husband and me. So I don't even want to test that, but good luck.
Good snacks. Take good snacks and you're sorted.
Good snacks and good music, right? And a good podcast.
We have a road trip playlist, which is about 19 hours long. Shreeya has given some suggestions for that. It's like proper
road,
I don't know,
anthems.
Yeah, road trip music. Anyway, so what have you guys been up to?
Melted in the heat.
It's boiling.
Melted. Absolutely melted. We have had 2 sports days for both of my kids. We are not sporty people, but it was fun nevertheless. But I literally melted on both those days. So yeah, fun heat waves in the UK. And for those of you who don't know, it gets hot in the UK. When it gets hot, it gets hot. I don't think it's as translatable. I don't think anyone would know exactly what it's like unless they've visited and experienced the heat that we have in Britain. We don't have air conditioning in most homes, and yeah, we're just not equipped to deal with it. So
I think that will change though in the coming few years. I think people will start getting air conditioners.
There was someone on The Apprentice who was actually, his business idea was to do with air conditioning units for their home. So yeah, maybe it will become more popular.
Shrees, what about you?
All I do on my days off is make sure that stuff is progressing for your wedding, for your big day. And at the moment, I was speaking to the venue lot today about stuff going on there. But mostly I was sorting stuff out in the house to make sure that there's room to bring back all the things that we need for the wedding. Like there's room to put it away in the cupboards and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, and I've been doing up the house a little bit as well. Just like, a little bit of renovation here and there that's going on. And that's just making the place look nice. That's what I do on my days off, so you're welcome.
Yeah, very much.
I've seen it just look very fresh. It looks like everything looks very neat at the moment.
That's because your kids' toys have been put in the garage, and once they make a comeback, it'll probably go back to looking normal.
I apologise in advance.
Shall we get into it today?
Yeah.
So, our topic of the day today is funny internet stories. Stories that we've seen on the internet, on some thread here or there, and it's made us giggle or think, or not necessarily funny actually in all the cases. It's just made us...
It's funny, but I would say my story, we don't know each other's stories, by the way. This is all going to be as surprising to us as it is to you. My story isn't very funny. It's just, I'm interested to know your guys' take on it, is the way that I'd put it.
So, do you want to kickstart?
I'll start.
You sound excited already.
Yay, I'll start. This one's a bit of it's on basically a Reddit thread, and it is an Am I the A-hole? Am I allowed to say that? It's on the Am I the A-hole subreddit. This is titled, Am I the A-hole for making an allegedly racist joke which upset my Indian classmate? With us being Indian, let's see whether we find it offensive or not. So the post is from 5 years ago, but it's not that dated. You'll find out when I get to it. The person who's posting has said, I know it sounds bad, but hear me out. So there's a popular meme, mainly spread from Twitter, that a group of friends and I find really funny. It's a short video from this Indian reality TV show. It says 2 sisters, but we know that they're not 2 sisters, but 2 sisters yelling at each other. A few days ago, my friends and I were sitting at lunch. One of my friends knocked down a water bottle or cup and went, Pooja, what is this behaviour? Oh, no way! With a heavy Indian accent. And the other girls basically quoted the rest of the video. All with Indian accents. And we laughed, as you two did. Another girl, we'll call her Amber, overheard this. So Amber's not really in our friend group and just happened to be sitting with us for lunch that day. Amber is Indian and was really annoyed at the 4 of us, me especially since I started the joke. She said it was extremely offensive to mock accents like that, especially since none of us are of Indian descent. 3 of us are white, 1 of us is black. She basically said the joke was racist and we were ignorant for making it. She also said that we were very condescending when we were yelling this out loud. I told her she was blowing it out of proportion. We had no racist or mean intentions at all. We just happened to find it very funny. And we would have also mimicked other accents, I'm paraphrasing a little bit here, such as the Kardashians or Valley Girls as well. So it wasn't meant maliciously. So we told her it was just a joke. Amber was extremely upset. She left, and later we found out she blocked us on all social media. We saw her in class the next day and she wouldn't speak to us, and neither would her friends. Apparently her and all her friends think we're racist, and we think this is absolutely rubbish. We're really annoyed at her for spreading rumours like that, because we know we're close to being racist. We were being completely honest with her. It was just the fact that it wasn't meant for her, but she was within earshot, and it became an inside joke. So now, every time Amber's around, we start quoting it again.
Oh, no.
So we said if Amber had just walked up to us again and respectfully told us she was uncomfortable with this joke, we would have stopped quoting it. But no, the girl yelled at us, called us racist, and turned all her friends against. So, who's in the wrong here? What is your take?
Okay, now I will be honest. I have quoted Pooja, what is this behaviour, more times than I would say is healthy.
Yeah.
So, and I'm in India. Okay.
Can we give a little bit of a background as to what this meme or joke actually is? For context.
It's Indian Big Brother, innit?
Yeah.
So it's like this lady called Pooja in the Indian Big Brother, and what does she do? She
knocks over a bin.
Yeah, she knocks over. She kicks a bin.
Yeah.
She kicks a bin. So that woman comes up to her and she's like, Pooja. I'm scared to do it in the accent now.
Yeah.
But anyway, she's like, Pooja, what is this behaviour? And she's like, pick it up if it bothers you. And the weird thing is that Pooja doesn't even have. She has all the accents in the world apart from the Indian accent.
She's literally. She goes like Manc at one point, so she does like a Manchester accent.
She's Yorkshire at one point.
She's Yorkshire. She's speaking in a Mancunian accent. She goes all around the world, and that's what's funny about. From me as a person of Indian origin, the funny thing was Pooja's change of accent throughout the escalation of that. Right.
Every time she spoke, it was a different accent.
It went American. It went British. It went everything.
And at the end of the video, when she like hits that stick on the ground and it just splinters in the air, it's bizarre. I've never seen any mop splinter like that so aggressively. So it was just hilarious. It wasn't even hilarious. It was just like, what is going on?
It was surreal. Did you watch it in the moment? Because I didn't. I saw it when it became the hype that it was. So I saw it in 2020. So that would have been several years after it first aired. I've never actually watched the show.
I think Shreeya told me about it,
I saw it not when it like first aired, but I did see it like soon after.
Yeah, this is what I mean. I just don't know how it was taken in that moment, because I guess other people have watched it out of context. I watched it completely out of context. I don't know what the build-up was to that incident or anything like that.
It's quite bizarre what happens. Like, anyone that doesn't know, please just go and find this online. Just type in Pooja, what is this behaviour? It is brilliant. It's absolutely brilliant.
It's not funny to us because it's an Indian accent at all.
Yeah, that's not what's funny.
That's not what's funny. So I think personally, when I read this post, I was thinking, I don't understand why that accent's funny. I understand that it's funny when you watch it, but I can understand it being an inside joke because I've said Pooja, what is this behaviour loads of times.
Yeah.
Even to my kids. And neither of them are called Pooja. The resounding verdict. Do you want to hear what other people have to say?
I'll tell you what my verdict is. I think Amber's is overreacting a little bit. I think it was not required, and everybody who knows about this Pooja, what is this behaviour, says Pooja, what is this behaviour when something happens. Like, what does she do? Spill a drink or something?
She spilled a drink.
Yeah, that sounds about right. I would say it in that context as well.
Yeah. What about you, Shreeya?
Yeah, same. I think that I don't think it was said with any like racist intention. They just they've literally said the entire script of that, whatever you want to call it, meme or video. They've done it like that as a joke. It's not about the accent. It's the situation which is funny, which everyone finds bizarre that they were reenacting. That's all it was.
So the majority of people who've responded to this are of South Asian descent, and one of the replies is, that video is blooming hilarious, but the fact that you made it an inside joke for us to say whenever she's around, it makes you the a-hole because it upsets her. So 100% that's reason for you to be an a-hole. And then other people have also said, I was going to say not the a-hole until the part referencing the video. That referencing the video is fine, but it's the fact that you made her the butt of the joke almost for her reaction.
Yeah. How old are these people, by the way?
They're college students.
So
They're
come
college
on.
students. They're college students. However, someone else's take was you've slipped from casual racism to targeted harassment. So therefore, the resounding verdict was you are the a-hole. So the OP. Yeah.
I did not see that coming. Okay, the end of it, yeah, when they were like doing it on purpose.
Yeah.
But Amber's reaction, so you know when her reaction in the first place was over the top. So then these girls, probably just being young and immature, just retaliated back. But
I can see it being hurtful. Like growing up in the Western world as an ethnic minority, I can see how if I was a little insecure about my identity, how I would take that as offensive. The adult me, no. But maybe when I was younger and I wasn't perhaps fitting in with the rest of the crowd, I would have probably seen that slightly targeted. I can put myself in that position. I can.
But you're saying this because I feel like you've just grown up and you're being a bit more PC. But don't forget, we grew up in the age of goodness gracious me.
We did actually, yeah.
So we must have ignored so much. And I don't ever remember being upset about goodness gracious me or anyone quoting it, ever.
Everyone is quoting Indiana Jones. And the Temple of
Doom. Exactly.
And incorrectly quoting it to me as well, because no one really ever knew what Amrish Puri was saying. They just kind of said it however they thought it sounded. But there's an edit. So the original poster has edited, and they've said, after reading every single comment and reply, oh my God, I am expletives. She's put a few expletives, so I'll just go over them. And you guys really gave me another perspective, and I feel absolutely rubbish. I feel like this is really ironic, since I'm the type of person who literally tells off other people for being racist, but here I am, and I now realise that the joke we meant wasn't cool or acceptable with the accent. She definitely won't forgive me, but I'll try to make things right with her. Thank you for everyone for commenting, and I really am the a-hole, is what she said. So OP, it's all right. I'm sure it's something you can hug out. I think you can hug it out. And it'll be fine. It'll be fine. She'll understand.
Yeah, the only thing I can think is there something else? Was there build up to this? Like, has Amber...
No, it doesn't seem like it. By reading what the couple of edits that she's written, because I've condensed for time, it didn't seem like there was any backstory. They just didn't really... They knew of each other. They were in the same classes together, but they weren't in the same friend circle. So it was someone having a private cackle at their dinner table and someone else just saying, excuse me, you've offended me, from a different table. Yeah, I mean, I just don't know. It's difficult to put myself back into that headspace, but you're right. We did grow up at a time where things were very non-PC, so we did let a lot fly. But I'm just trying to... Maybe if I was insecure, I would have been a bit sensitive like that, but I don't know. It's it's an interesting one.
It's funny because we've actually never had any complaints like that or ever found a person's behaviour inappropriate when it comes to stuff like this. And goodness gracious me, everyone used to watch it at one point.
Yeah,
it was like, this dal is fantastic and all of that. Everyone was like saying it at one point.
I still say it, and then if anyone else says it, I'm like, is my dal not good? I'm just saying it just because you want to quote goodness gracious me. Is my dal definitely okay? So if anyone says my dal is fantastic, I'm like, do you mean that, or are you just like quoting?
I love the check please. I love using check please.
Check please.
That's the one that I use like every time.
That other one as well. I can make this at home. All I need is a small
aubergine.
Every time I see a small aubergine, I think of that.
It was so funny.
Yeah, I was going to say, if anyone hasn't seen Goodness Gracious Me, there's loads and loads of clips on YouTube.
But now that wouldn't fly, would it?
It wouldn't. I think that's the reason why things like that don't air on television anymore. Is it okay to pick on your own community, though? I think people have problems with that nowadays as well, don't they?
Yeah, I mean, there's not even stuff like Little Britain on anymore either.
No, there isn't. There used to be a lot. On back then, but that wouldn't fly today.
Shall we plod on? I'm still confused which one to go. Okay, I'm just going to... This one's open first, so I'm going to go with this one. All right, ready?
Yes. Okay.
Ready? Okay. So the title of this is, Am I the a-hole for struggling to forgive my husband for his petty revenge on me? I feel crazy in capitals.
Oh,
okay.
Oh, petty revenge.
Yes, don't you love it? Husband 34 and I, 32 female, have been married 6 years. 2 months ago, I stopped him from going on a bachelor's trip with his long-term school friends. I was okay and was kind of looking forward to him having fun until I learned he hid the fact that they would be doing a lot of adult-themed activities, like strippers, happy ending massages, You know,
No.
the word.
Mhm.
It caused a huge fight, as we've always maintained that this is a deal breaker for me, and the fact that he hid it from me made it worse. He argued that he only did it because of my tendency to overreact, and of course he wouldn't engage in those activities, but that didn't mean he couldn't go. I would have been fine with him going if he told me about their itinerary and trusted the fact like he'd stay away from it. What he did broke my trust, and the only way I could see him earning it back is if he voluntarily told his friends that he couldn't come, which he did. At the time he looked really apologetic and we made up. He took me shopping and all was good. I bought some outfits and was looking like forward to wear them over summer. Where we live, it was still a little cold and I didn't get to wear the clothes immediately that I'd bought on this shopping trip. Also, most of my summer clothes had shrunk in the washer, so I practically only had oversized casuals, and these clothes like that I just bought, the summer clothes. A few weeks later it started to get warmer, and as I slip into my new dress it feels tight. I'm confused. I just tried them on in the store and I'm a size 14 as the label on the dress said, so no, I didn't get the wrong size from the store. Then another dress was tight, same with the trousers and the tops. I start feeling absolutely bonkers. Had I really actually put on so much weight in just a few weeks that my new dresses don't fit? I'd always been a bit sensitive about how my body looks, and I remember telling my husband how excited I was about these new clothes and that they were so flattering on me when I tried them on in the store. And now they looked hideous on me. I started crying on the floor. I was so embarrassed to tell my... Yeah, I know. I was too embarrassed to tell my husband. I thought he must have noticed if I'd put on weight. I was a wreck. I was feeling crazy for a few weeks now. Even the clothes that I had before felt tighter. I don't know if this was placebo or reality, but it didn't help. My husband, a few days ago, during dinner, said he wanted to confess something.
Oh God, I don't want to hear it.
He was snickering while saying this, and what he said absolutely crushed me.
Oh no.
He said that while I was gone to see my sister, who had just had a baby, he had secretly taken all my outfits that he knows I routinely wear and gave them to the local tailor to make them a size or two smaller.
Oh my
up
God,
right
no
now.
way.
What?
Yeah. He said he paid him generously to stitch things faster and said sorry, but I felt like a funny payback for what I'd done, meaning stopping him going on the trip.
Oh.
I said that wasn't funny. He made me feel crazy. I was crying and screaming at this point. He severed my sense of self and made me feel ugly.
Oh no.
Oh.
I know. Eventually I tried to be okay, but I'm not. I'm still reeling from what he did as part of his petty revenge. It's been some time since he confessed and he offered to get them stitched back to original size. I'm struggling with what he did. I want to forgive him. I never knew how resentful he was of me about that trip. Maybe it's my fault. I should have been more trusting. I knew he would never cheat. In my heart, I knew he would keep away. And from his perspective, his petty revenge on me probably feels deserved. I'd be mad too if he stopped me from doing something I was looking forward to. Takes on that.
I do not think that should be categorised as petty revenge. That is very malicious.
It's awful, isn't it?
Partners often tell each other that, okay, I am not cool with you doing this. Everyone has boundaries in their relationship, right? So this must have crossed the boundary of acceptability for her to say, you cannot go on this trip. They could have spoken about that at length, or he could have assured her in some other way. The boys could have assured her in some way. It could have been worked out, I think, through conversation. To do that to someone's... Like, clothes are such a vital part of your identity as well. Like, someone messing with that, messing with your body image, if you've already got a problem with your body image, is not pay. He knew that that was going to hurt her.
Yeah, he hid it from her as well, that there would be this adult activity. So obviously she'd have a little bit of like, oh no, maybe he's going to, you know, after a couple of drinks, it's easy to just kind of...
lose her inhibitions massively, So, I mean...
He's messed up both times here. The first time is hiding it from her, and he has said, I did it because I knew you would overreact. That's the first one there. Second one is doing what he did to her clothes. He's gone out with her. He's bought these clothes. She said, oh, I like these. I look flattering. And then he's gone out of his way to take them all, pay as much as he did to get them tailored, and then snicker about it to her face. He's awful. That's disgusting.
Because he found this funny on some level.
Yeah.
And it's like, it just isn't. So, like, you're making her insecure by hiding the truth from her, and then you're making her insecure about an insecurity she already has. Like, you know, it's like, it's a double whammy. The fact that she was trying to justify it towards the end makes me really sad for her as well, because it seems as though she's probably made excuses for him throughout this relationship, and it's not good.
So obviously in the comments, she's not the a-hole as per the readers' reviews. Everybody's really concerned about this man's mental well-being because it's really awful. It's an awful thing.
I just want to give the lady a big hug and just say, you know, it's not you. And how she could even post something like that on an Am I an A-hole page when she's the furthest thing from being an a-hole, just to say, I'm a bit concerned about this trip and the things that you've hidden from me regarding this trip.
It's a lot of money to spend. That's my biggest... How has he wasted that much money? Anyway, shall we plod on? Shreeya, your turn.
Oh, mine is long. Mine is long. Sit down.
I will get myself a beverage, put my feet up.
This one is some drama. Okay, revolves around a wedding, but not quite. The title is "I am having drama with my husband's best man's girlfriend after our wedding."
Hold on. Let's
Let that sink in 1 second. Let me go a little bit slower. Okay.
Yeah.
She's having drama with her husband's best man's girlfriend after.
Okay. Mate's friend. Got it.
Yes. So there's only 4 people here, yeah? Yes. Okay, right. Here we go. My husband and I, she's a 25-year-old female, got married a month ago. We had a very small wedding in our garden with just our closest friends and family. We didn't tell people who weren't invited when we got married, since we knew some people would have just shown up without being invited. Leading up to our wedding, I also asked the people who were invited that day that they shouldn't post anything about our wedding, at least until after everything had happened. So I've never really gotten along with the best man's new girlfriend, but I was like, we'll make it work. And we are still going to invite her since she is the best man's girlfriend. Months before the wedding, she came up to me and said she would DIY something for our wedding. I thought that was very cute, and after some back and forth, she came up with the idea to make cards for sparklers so we could hand out to our guests. Once again, I thought this would be really cute. She asked me to send her some inspo, and that's what I did. Now, a few weeks back go by, and she shows me those cards, which look nothing like the inspo I've sent her, but I was like, fine, whatever. Now here comes the part where we have some drama. Leading up to our wedding, she dropped some hints about engaging at or after our wedding. My husband and I then went up to his best man, who then assured us he wouldn't propose on our wedding day. She still didn't stop dropping remarks about how her wedding should look like. She could already tell she wouldn't want our wedding to be like hers. Now I was like, girly, this isn't the time to make things about yourself for now. I'll just ignore it. Can you guys tell what's going to happen?
I can kind of.
Here comes our wedding day. We have the best day ever. I don't even spend that much time with her, but the few interactions we have, I ignore or pretended like nothing happened. However, this is where I get really annoyed. Before our wedding, I asked the guests to fill out a form where they should have told us about their eating restrictions. She answered that she didn't have any restrictions or allergies, and she would be completely fine. Nonetheless, on our wedding day, she goes up to the chef, where we had a food truck with some amazing barbecue, and she asked him about all the ingredients that are in the food. The chef said that luckily the things that she was allergic to is only in one sauce, and she just couldn't eat that. She then came up to me and said that the food tasted like trash, and she couldn't even eat half of the food we had. My husband said that we were sorry, and most of our guests seemed to enjoy the food, but if she would get hungry later on, we would order something for her. Later on, she came up to the best man, who at the time was standing next to me, and said to him that I was being the B word. Didn't give her enough food and wasn't thankful because I hadn't given out the cards with the sparklers yet. To avoid more drama, I asked my maid of honour to hand out the cards and that we could light up the sparklers right away. That's everything I noticed on my wedding day. Now, the next day, people texted me complaining about her and saying she was very rude. Asked everyone how much my husband and I spent for our wedding day, that she is quite certain that my parents had paid everything and therefore would suggest to not give too much money. Called one of my childhood friends an ugly wallflower and fixed my great aunt's necklace against her wish. The necklace was supposed to sit like that. She also said that she wasn't too good of a friend of ours and that's why she didn't want to spend anything on our wedding gift. And she posted a picture of our wedding cake on Instagram the day after our wedding, as well as a pic of my husband and I in her post. She thanked everyone, like she even wrote the names of the people and what they did on our wedding day. Next thing I know, we are on a honeymoon, and she's texting me daily about her behaviour. She's going to stop by in 10 minutes so I can talk to her about her behaviour. Wish me luck. Now this is where she gave a little update. She tried to lie her way out of things, called everyone a liar, including my best friend, and said she simply didn't know any etiquette when it came to weddings because this was the first wedding she had ever attended. Mind you, she is in her mid-30s. I still tried to hold her accountable, but quickly realised that she wouldn't reflect on her behaviour and apologise, which is why I held myself back after about 20 minutes talking with her. She even had the audacity to say that it was rude of me to invite my childhood friend, since my husband's best man and my childhood friend had hooked up like 6 years ago. One more thing with those sparkler cards, she wanted me to pay her like €50 now. I didn't give her anything though, because like, what? Also, I felt like she had some issues with me and not my husband, so I'd rather have a conversation with her than get my husband involved. However, I still feel better now because I know her character and I simply cannot be bothered with her behaviour, and it was good for me to set those boundaries. In the future, I'll just try to avoid her as best I can. One funny thing though, she asked me whether we could host their wedding in our garden once they got married.
Yeah, right.
Because she thought it was so relaxed and lovely. To which I basically answered, nah.
Oh, the audacity.
Yeah. She said, we basically apologised to our friends and family about her, and my husband brought it up to his best man, and his girlfriend is simply put unbelievable, and straight up told him that he doesn't know what the best man sees in her. Moreover,
Yowza.
after today, we both see what a hideous person she is and can laugh about it, since we know we are not the crazy ones. She said this chat was with her in person. We have been back from a honeymoon for over a week now. So that has all happened within, like, a few months and stuff. Yeah.
Do you know what? We've been talking about this back and forth. Me and Did have at least over the past few days. It's really rude when guests come to weddings and just act like a-holes.
Yeah.
Pretty much. I think, right, you're a guest at a wedding. That's a privilege. You know, like that person is inviting you to be a part of the most important day of their life.
Lives. Yeah.
Suck it up.
Yeah.
Be kind. If you ain't got anything kind to say, shut up. Because I believe that nothing negative should ever come back to the bride or the bride's family at the very least. A groom's family as well. That nothing negative should ever come back to the people who've organised the wedding. They have tried their hardest to make that day special for themselves and to make it special for you. If you've got any criticisms, zip it, quite frankly. It's rude.
And do you know what? You always find that weddings and funerals bring the worst out in people. I don't know what happens to people. Like right now, since we are leading up to my wedding in like 8 months. Yeah, it's like exactly 8 months to go, which is crazy. But like we've already seen people acting a bit like having things to say and like asking questions and trying to get the tea on stuff, and it's like,
relax, man.
Oh, for God's sake, just be happy for us and just get ready to party, and that's it. That's all you need to worry about. You don't need to worry about nothing else. It does not matter. Just be happy that I finally decided, people on my side should be relieved that finally I've decided to tie the knot, because I'm pretty sure everyone gave up hope. There was no hope. There was literally, I wasn't even getting anything like, it was like, we've just forgotten about her. Next onto the last 2 single girls in the family. That's what everyone was.
We had hope.
I think everyone just knew that when the time is right, that will happen for you.
Yeah, I think everyone just wanted to give you space and time. In our family, at least, we were like, we had faith in you, girly.
Yeah.
Well done.
Anyway, so yeah, that's my take on this Reddit story, is that people just become weird, man, on like occasions.
They do.
What are the people saying in the comments?
Oh, everyone's in favour of the bride. Yeah. They were like, I would have said a firm no to all her suggestions from the start. She might have read your boundaries earlier, let it go. Can't change anything now, ignore her, she was wrong. P.S. warn her boyfriend. And then there was another comment saying, why are so many young people so afraid to set boundaries with ignorant people?
I think we have a generation of people pleasers, unfortunately. I think it's
and just being in it.
I think it's diminishing now, by what I know about Gen Zs and Gen Alphas, but millennials and upwards, because I take it with this girl being in her mid-30s, that the bride and groom are probably in similar age. I don't think that you'd unnecessarily want to engage in conflict, and you try to say, let's just keep the peace, But yes, it is difficult. I find it difficult to set boundaries, which is why I
do. But this chick has literally called her the B word at her wedding.
That is diabolical.
That is diabolical. That's not
awful.
I'd kick her out of the wedding. I don't even know how she composed herself. Like, no one should be made to feel like that on such a special day.
And she's still taking the time out after as well to talk it out with her.
Shall we plod on next?
Okay, moving on to the next story. So this is like the second story that I have lined up. I have so many opinions on this, guys, and I'm expecting strong opinions from you as well. This one is, am I the a-hole for leaving during my wife's labour?
Yes.
So let's get into it.
I'll start right there. Yes, you are.
Yes, that's your answer. Okay, yes, you are. Moving on. Okay, let's give this guy a chance, shall we? Said, my wife went into labour around 6 p.m. on Sunday. So this is 4 years ago, just for context. 6 p.m. on Sunday. We were expecting twins. It quickly turns into a very painful process. She kept cutting off the blood pressure to my hand when she squeezed it, and nearly sprayed my shirt with vomit.
Oh.
Been there, done that. Around 3 a.m, my dad calls. I work for my dad's company, and we had a presentation for clients Monday morning that I had to get ready for. My blood's boiling already. My dad heard my wife was in labour, but told me he needed me on the presentation. He said there was nothing I could do to help my wife and delivery, and seeing the baby come out was overrated and people don't prepare you for the gore. He said he needed me to rest up and make myself presentable for the presentation. My wife's labour was progressing very slowly, and we were all certain she would need forceps or other assistance to deliver the babies. I realised I couldn't help her here, and my dad was counting on me, so I told her I needed to leave. She started screaming at me so loudly that a few nurses rushed over to our room. I ended up doing the presentation with the clients and things went well. I leave the office and see a text on my phone that my wife had delivered an hour ago around 10:30am and they had to use forceps. I would have missed the meeting had I stayed on, and my dad's given me everything he could possibly give me in life, so I didn't want to let him down. Am I the a-hole? Yes. I had responsibilities I had to take care of while my wife was still screaming at me, and she's still screaming at me to say that I left her all alone when she needed me the most, while delivering the babies destroyed her body. I'm the only one who works, and her mum herself said that she was emotional and overreacting. Oh, mother, I have issues. But my wife even went as far to say that her family would disown her if she was the first of them to divorce, but now she doesn't consider me her husband. Opinions, please.
I love how he says, I had responsibilities.
Like he doesn't have any as a husband.
Is this not a responsibility?
As a father, flipping out.
As a husband?
Dude.
Oh, Lord.
The fact that men like this exist makes me want to puke on his shirt.
How does he even rationalise that in his own head? How has he even, been yeah, I did what I did and I did a good
diabolical.
Thing. No, shut up. Oh, my gosh. No,
it is diabolical. But not naming names, I do recall speaking to somebody once who said that his wife was in pain and she was in labour. I think they needed to operate on her, but he was watching a football match.
No.
Yes. So the doctor apparently stuck his head round, said how many minutes are left on the clock, and he said something like maybe 35 minutes, and they're like, okay, fine, we'll just delay the operation.
What?
Yeah, until your match finishes.
No. Absolutely
so as not to inconvenience you.
Get rid, bin him.
This OP is not considering divorce, obviously, because she said that, her mum said that she'll disown her if she's the first from the family to divorce. However, that would be unforgivable in my book. I cannot fathom why any man would not want to be there for their wife in that situation. Why any father wouldn't want to see the arrival of their babies. Why any husband wouldn't want to be there for his wife or a partner. And it doesn't have to be a husband. Any partner wouldn't want to be there at that time, because irrespective of whatever you think you're going through and whatever circulation's been cut off on your hand, imagine what is happening to her.
Oh yeah, I can't believe he said that as well. Oh my God.
It's the fact that it's one of the most life-threatening things a woman can do is to give birth, and she's giving birth to twins, and how he complains about the time it takes. Yes, it takes time, but it's a lot shorter than 9 months, mate. These babies have been on their way for 9 months. So I've got some comments here. Someone's basically said, you are the a-hole, obviously. You never leave a woman in birth, especially because she was giving birth to twins. It quickly turns into a painful process for you, but way to make it about you. And you expected your wife, a first-time mum, from what it seems, to naturally give birth to twins in a couple of hours. What the hell are you talking about? And then he's like, what did you think you were there to do in the first place? Catch the baby? Your sole purpose was to provide moral support. You failed. She was scared. She was vulnerable. And you left her. Your responsibility is to your wife and children. Yes, your dad raised you and provided for you, but this is the family you've created. And you even make it sound like somehow it's your wife's fault that this was happening, and it was somehow in her control. She cut off my blood pressure and spewed vomit. I can't tell if you were misguided about the beauty of childbirth or you're completely unsympathetic about how hard it is for your wife. Wow. You can guess what the overall verdict was.
Yeah, I'm glad that was the overall verdict, because if anyone was supporting him, I'd have something to say.
And another thing, 4 years ago, can you guys remember what was happening around about then? We were just coming out of COVID.
Out of COVID,
yeah.
I know, having given birth during that time period, that it was horrendous. It was really horrendous because of the uncertainty. Hospitals were they were scary places back then.
Yeah.
So she must have been doubly scared.
I feel like I keep quoting Animal in these podcasts, but it's like this guy has an obsession with his dad, just like Ranbir Kapoor has in Animal. What is up with this father fixation that some guys have? What is that? What is it?
I don't know. It's okay to idolise your dad. This is why I think female role models are so important in everybody's life.
Both are.
They are. Both are. But because we live in a very unequal society, I think that, especially in these kind of families, they put the man on the pedestal, really, and the woman gets like sidelined, or all her efforts. Because obviously, I'm guessing here that, the mother must be like a homemaker of some sort, because he's saying he's the sole provider, right? So the mother, so the lady's a homemaker. But like, it's almost like saying, okay, you don't matter. I have responsibilities. Like, earning money is the sole responsibility in a household. It isn't at all, because, getting your children to school, making sure they're fed, like all that nurturing part, that is so important. And that's why I think that it's not about whether or not those role models exist. It's seeing women as role models, seeing those women as role models, seeing women's effort as real effort. And I just think that that's where all of these examples that you've given, Shukti, like about the animal, I think this is where it all stems from. It's not having that, seeing your dad as this ultimate great figure and not seeing your mother as that. I've seen that film. I thought the mother was equally deserving of respect in that film. I didn't quite understand the dad fixation.
Right, let's move on from that a-hole to the next.
Another one.
Is there another one? There's always one in the story, right? Whether it's the OP or whether it's someone else.
You also get everybody's the a-hole here. You've got that. I've seen that verdict before.
Yeah. So anyway, now title is, am I the a-hole for replacing my fiance's dead grandma's ashes with glitter after I found out he cheated and then gave them back at his birthday party?
Oh my
God.
Goodness.
Oh my God.
What a title, hey?
Now that is petty revenge.
So,
good Lord. Wow. Okay.
That's crazy.
This story does have some twists and turns. Hold on tight, guys. So, I, a 30 female, was engaged to Adam, 31 male. We were together for 5 years. We lived together and got along super well. He proposed to me a few months ago and we were excited to plan our future together. However, about a month ago, his grandma passed away. He was extremely close to her and I felt horrible that she passed. That was before I found out he cheated. Dun dun dun.
No.
Yeah. Adam and I have each other's email accounts for work purposes. I was looking through my inbox when I came upon an email that was sent to Adam. It was from his boss asking him to go to his office in a flirtatious way. No, his boss is not a woman.
Oh my gosh.
I was intrigued and I took his phone off the counter when he was sleeping. I know this was sort of an invasion of privacy, but we're getting married and I want to be able to trust him 100%.
No,
I know,
get married.
Yeah, I know his password, it's his birthday, lol. And I went through his messages with his boss. I was disgusted. Nude photos, flirty messages. I was so confused and heartbroken at the same time. Adam had never once mentioned to me that he might be into men. You can believe my shock when I found out he was sleeping with his male boss.
Oh my God.
Wow.
The next day, I kept my cool, but told Adam that I was feeling sick and needed to take a day off from work. Adam went to work, and while he was there, I drove over to his parents' house. I told his parents what I found out, but I made them promise not to confront him yet. They could tell how devastated I was, and asked if there was anything they can do to make it up to me. I said it was okay, but that I wanted to be a little petty and get some sort of revenge. That's when I remembered his grandma's passing. I brought up that idea to his parents. His grandmother's ashes were stored in a silver urn, which stated her name and her death date. I said that I would buy an identical urn and pretend that I threw out the ashes and filled the urn with glitter. I would then give it to Adam as a present for his upcoming birthday. His parents were a little unsure of the idea, but ultimately agreed as long as his grandmother's real ashes weren't touched. I bought the urn and filled it with pink and silver glitter.
Oh gosh.
It's like a gender reveal. It's a girl.
Somehow, I was able to keep my cool while living with Adam for the next 2 weeks. On his birthday, I presented him with the urn and he freaked. He believed I really threw out his grandma's ashes, and he went ballistic. He yelled and cried while I stood there with a straight face. He called me insane and a weirdo. Then I confronted him about how he was sleeping with his boss. The look on his face was priceless. I told him to get out and to never come back. I pay the rent for our apartment. He packed his stuff and left. 2 days later, I received a text from his parents apologising, and they revealed that Adam and his boss got fired. They worked for a company and his parents had spoken to the head of the business. Oh, wow.
Oh my gosh.
Adam has also texted me calling me a crazy maniac and that I was insane for doing such a thing. Once he found out I didn't actually throw out his grandma's ashes, he started apologising profusely and tried to get back with me. I've still not answered any of his texts or calls. Yeah.
What?
I feel sort of bad for the distress that I caused Adam because I do love him and we were going to get married. But at the same time, I don't feel I did anything wrong because I didn't actually touch his grandma's ashes. Am I the a-hole?
No,
Thoughts?
girl, no.
No,
You know what
she spoke to his parents. It's all good. It's
you know
all
what
good.
I thought? You know the direction I thought it was going to take? I thought that he had someone else's name saved as his boss's name. And so every time he got a message, so it wouldn't look sus, right? So every time he got a message, it'd be like, oh, boss calling, but a message from boss. So therefore it doesn't look suspicious. But the fact that it was actually his boss.
Don't give people ideas now.
I mean, what the thing is, you got to think. I listen to a lot of true crime stuff, as you know. So I think this is where I get these ideas from. But yeah, that's where I thought it was headed. But the fact that that's professional misconduct on some major level.
Yeah.
I have to say, it's proper gutsy for her to find this out and just be like, go straight to his parents and talk to them about it. Like, woo, they must have had a good relationship when they decided to get married. Like, geez, Louise.
It's really interesting how he wanted to get back together with her, because the fact that a wedding was going to happen and the fact that he thought the wedding was still going to happen, I mean, sexuality is not the issue here, it's the cheating that's the issue here. That's the bigger issue, because people are bisexual. Obviously, you could be interested in whoever you want. You could be interested in a car, for goodness sake. I've seen all sorts. Duvets. I've seen a lady who's interested in a duvet. But it's the fact that
there was a hot air balloon as well at one point.
I once read an article in a magazine about a woman who was in love with a ship P with a P. She married the ship and lived there inside her husband. The ship.
That is that's interesting. But yeah, so
very good.
I don't understand why she's saying, oh, I still love him and whatever towards the end. It's kind of like there is absolutely nothing wrong with what she did.
Yeah.
But there's absolutely everything wrong with what he did, and really she should not feel bad about it. And she obviously didn't throw away the ashes. I thought that was a genius idea, actually.
Yeah. Yeah.
So now here's the next plot twist. Okay.
Oh, okay.
Now I would probably say 90% of the comments are saying that she is the a-hole.
Huh?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, what?
Why?
What they said?
The comments are, one is just plainly, are you psychotic? The next one is, this is effed up. You are the a-hole. I'm all about petty revenge for cheating, but this doesn't even make sense. The consequence should match the crime.
What?
Did they read it, and do they know that she didn't actually replace it with glitter? Are they okay? Have they read it? What
I think they have read it. Then there's no excuse for cheating, but what you did was a horrible thing to do.
So what did they want her to do? Did they want her to cheat back? Would that have made sense to most people rather than messing with an urn?
These people are probably not about the petty revenge. They're probably just take the high road, just pack your bags and leave the apartment that you were paying for. That's probably what they'd want, which is just rubbish. I think it was amazing, and she should have just thrown that glitter on his face so that he was, finding it for weeks, because when you get glitter on you, it just bite you, especially in your hair.
I've read one of those as well. I've read one of those petty revenges.
Yeah. It's your eyelashes on your scalp,
when you're blinking and you just see glitter and you're like, where is it?
Yeah, man. Gosh, she should just literally thrown it on his head, over his head. Not the urn, the glitter.
I don't get it. So people are saying the revenge is what makes her an a-hole rather than the actual situation. Because no, I'm all for petty revenge. I like pettiness. She didn't actually cause any harm apart from he thought for a while that the ashes had gone, but they hadn't really gone, so good on you, girl.
He's the one that's heartbroken. He's the one that was just a bit upset for 5 minutes while she watched him flap about a little while and then told him.
The thing is, he might genuinely have been really invested in this relationship, and his heart got broken and he couldn't help the fact that he's fallen in love with his boss, or he's having a relationship with his boss. I don't know. I don't want to even get into the psyche of this man, because he sounds like he's very confused. If you are in a committed relationship to the extent that you want to get married to this person, give it some respect, and he's not giving it respect, and that's why I would never accept that this lady is an a-hole. She's grieving the loss of relationship, and grief makes you do weird things, so it's not as weird as what I would have done, I'll be honest.
Exactly. Should we move on? Shrees, your turn?
Oh my gosh, okay, right. Mine is a sad one.
Well, I need tissues.
Oh, you might do. You might do.
No.
Some people, it's had that effect on some people. So here we
Oh
go.
dear.
No.
Oh no, sorry.
I've already cried once today. Go on.
Okay, well I haven't. I've been quite alright, but we'll move. The title is "This is how my fiance of 8 years broke my heart when he dumped me."
Aww.
Okay,
Okay.
so a lot of this is dialogue, so I don't have two voices, I'll have to just speak in one. You guys figure out who's saying what. So it says, we've been together 8 years, my entire adult life. We're calling him D. Was my first everything, my first love, the only person I'd been with. We met in college when we were basically kids and grew up together. The night it happened, I came home excited from work, thinking we were finally going to settle on our honeymoon itinerary. I already maxed out my credit card, booking first-class tickets for us as a surprise. He was sitting on the edge of our couch, elbows on his knees, head down. Can we sit and talk for a sec? Huh? I still didn't really believe it was happening. He said, I've been thinking about how to say this. My brain just refused to process it. I sat there thinking he was going to suggest postponing the wedding or maybe wanting a smaller ceremony.
Oh no.
I love you, Jay. I'll always love you. He said it like he was talking about a dead person. I'm calling off the wedding. What?
What?
He finally looked at me and I could see he was about to cry and that somehow made it worse. Like he was the victim here. I'm so sorry. Are you kidding me? This has to be a joke, right? But I could see in his eyes that he meant it, that he'd been sitting with this decision for God knows how long. I didn't mean to blindside you. I've been sitting with it for months, trying to figure out how to say it. Months. While I was obsessing over our seating charts, he was planning his escape.
Oh,
You don't want to marry me? He ran his hand through his hair, the same hand that used to rub my shoulders when I couldn't sleep, the same hand that held mine through my grandfather's funeral, the same hand that slipped a ring through my finger under a sky full of stars. I love you so much, Jay, you know that. He looked everywhere except my face. I stared at him, the eyes I'd looked into 1,000 mornings, thinking they'd be the last thing I'd see before I died someday, old and grey and still his. Is it cold feet? We can postpone, push it back a few months, or make it smaller. Your mother would prefer that anyway. I didn't realise how desperate and pathetic I sounded. It's not the wedding, Jay. Then what? Did you meet someone? His hesitation told me exactly what I needed to know. It's not like that. I haven't cheated on you. Oh, congratulations, you didn't cheat. Would you like a effing gold star? The F word just fell out of my mouth. I never said it out loud before, not once in my entire life. But there is someone else, I said, isn't there? We got together so young, Jay. So? I never got to discover who I was outside of us. You had 8 years to figure that out. I know, and I tried to make it work. I thought maybe once we were married, once everything was official, this feeling would go away, but it isn't getting worse. What feeling? Like I'm living someone else's life. My life, you mean my life. You think you're trapped in the life I created. I think we're both trapped. I think it's best for both of us this way. Best for me? I stood up and I was shaking. How is this best for me? Because you deserve someone who wants this life as much as you do. No, you don't get to twist this like you're doing me a favour. I'm not saying that. Tell me about her. The one who made you realise this. She's just reminded me who I was before us. I felt dizzy after he said that, like I might pass out or throw up. Before us. Before us. Like the last 8 years of our life was some kind of prison sentence he'd finally escaped. I looked at our balcony where he'd promised we'd drink coffee on Sunday mornings for the next 50 years, where we'd watch fireworks last New Year's Eve, bundled in blankets, his arms around me as he told me, next year we'll be married already. I gave you everything. I know. I gave you my 20s, through my family, all our hurdles, constant insecurities. I know. Don't say I know. You don't know anything. His eyes were wet now, but I didn't care. I wanted him to hurt. I wanted him to feel even a fraction of what he was putting me through. I waited, I stayed, I planned this whole effing wedding with your mother breathing down my neck. He didn't interrupt me. He just watched me with this terrible patience that made me feel worse. And now what? You meet someone new and suddenly decide I'm too boring. That's not it. Then what is it? What did I do wrong? It's not you. I don't want this life. Then why did you build it with me? My hands were shaking now. Why let me buy the dress, plan the menu? Why let me turn down that job? I thought I could learn to want it. I wanted to want it. I stepped closer to him, and he didn't move. I didn't want to hurt you. I laughed, made a wild, unhinged sound I'd never made before. You didn't want to hurt me. Do you think this hurts less because you did it gently? Something inside me just exploded. I went to the kitchen and started grabbing things. Birthday cards where he'd written that I was the love of his life. I threw one across the room and it fluttered pathetically to the floor. The framed photo of us on a trip, us grinning like idiots in front of a waterfall. I held it and the glass shattered against the floor and it felt good. I smashed a few other stuff, including the mug he gave me. He didn't move. He just sat there watching me destroy our life. I loved you, I screamed. He nodded. I love you too. I still do. Don't say that. Don't you dare say those words to me now. I was standing in the wreckage of our relationship. This wasn't me. I didn't break things. I didn't scream. I fixed things. I made things better. But there was no making this better. Say something. What do you want me to say? Say you're sorry. I am. Say you'll fix it. I can't. I lost it completely. I shoved him as hard as I could and he stumbled back against the wall. Then I was hitting him, both hands against his chest, trying to crack him open and find the old D somewhere inside. The one who picked flowers from parking lots and made me pancakes when I was sad. He didn't stop me, didn't try to grab my hands or defend himself, he just absorbed my rage. You stole everything, my youth, my life, my goddamn future. I know. Stop saying you know, my throat went raw. His hands came up then, catching my wrists. His touch was so familiar it broke me all over again. I collapsed against him and he wrapped his arms around me. And for 1 minute, I pretended that this was just another fight, just another thing we'd worked through together like we always did. And then he started crying too. He just broke apart right there in front of me. Somehow that destroyed me more than anything else because I still loved him, even while I hated him. I should go, he said eventually. He disappeared into our bedroom and I heard him pulling out the suitcase we'd bought together for our trip to Maine. The one he'd already packed while I was busy planning our honeymoon. When he came back with his bag, he was sitting on the floor next to the broken glass, staring at nothing. Jay, please look at me. I refused. I kept my eyes on my hands folded in my lap. I'll stay at Em's for a bit. Take as much time as you need there. He walked to the door. Jay. I could feel him looking at me, but I wouldn't let him see my face one more time. The door clicked shut. I sat there for hours next to the pieces of our broken life, holding a pillow and crying until I had nothing left. I don't know why I'm telling you this. 30,000 feet in the air with my plane touching down soon. Maybe I just needed to write it down so I could finally let go. Or maybe because I wanted other women to know that sometimes love isn't enough and that it's not your fault. Because I'm starting to figure out who I am now too. And she's nothing like the woman who begged him to stay that night. She's going to be so much better.
Oh, God. The gaslighting is so much in that.
Aww.
It's the fact that, oh, it's not me, it's you. Well, it's not you, it's me, sorry, that way around.
It's me.
It's not you, it's me. He's not really... Oh, my God. Because he is making it out like it's her fault, almost. And it's like...
Without saying it.
After breaking her heart.
Yeah, that's such a mean thing to do. But, you know... At least they hadn't got married before he had this realisation. At least.
Yeah.
It's just that he's been thinking about it for months, right? He said he's been thinking about it for months. The quicker you communicate these things, the better it is for everyone involved, quite frankly. Like the minute you start to have doubts, say it. And then that way things don't progress. It might seem heartless if you're like 8 months into the relationship, 2 months into the relationship. It might seem heartless. It is way more heartless if you do it 8 years into the relationship when you're about to get married, when you've got honeymoon stuff packed.
Mad. And then he's saying that this other chick makes him feel like who he was before them when they were in college. So basically he's a kid. That's who he wants back, not the person he's grown into.
How do you know that other relationship is going to last? That you've thrown away something that you have been involved in for 8 years. You know, you're grinning like idiots in that photo. Probably because you were having a good time.
Yeah.
But, you know, I do feel, right, that men are not that bothered about holding down a relationship as much as women are. Because, again, like, we're going back to one of the episodes we talked about this, like, the biological clock. Like, we are more... I think it devastates us more because of our biology. Right?
Yeah.
We're like, oh, damn, we on some level, even if we're not thinking about it, we'd rather work on the relationship that you're in than to break it off and start over. Whereas I'm guessing this guy got cold feet, right? He had a fling or something. He felt like a 21-year-old again, and he can feel like a 21-year-old again because he doesn't have to settle down. Guys don't have to settle down at a particular age, and they have this obsession with youth.
They really do.
All the time. They have an obsession with younger women. They've got an obsession with looking younger, feeling younger, being younger. I think men do struggle with aging and settling down and tying themselves down. They struggle with that a lot more as a generalization.
Yeah, I think it's made out to be more of a woman's thing, like women want to remain younger and stuff. It's not quite that, because men always chase that youth. It's horrific, some of the stuff that I read as well online about, you know, what some men think should be the legal age of consent even.
Oh gosh.
It makes me shudder as a girl mum. It makes me absolutely shudder, because I'm like, where is your morality? Is that what men are innately hardwired to do? I sincerely hope not. I sincerely hope that this is like, you know, minority of men who just seem to scream the loudest that have this kind of mindset. I think it's more than a minority, unfortunately, though.
So it's crazy, because while I was reading through stories and trying to zero down on which one I want to talk about, there was another one that I was going to do, but it just gave me the ick that I thought I'm not even going to be able to get through this. And that was that a woman had written about how her husband was struggling to live with her daughter from her first marriage because he was finding the daughter attractive.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Unfortunately, there's so many popular culture versions of this as well, and so there's so many like celebrities who have, without naming names, that are exactly like this as well. And you just think,
that's horrid.
You should be seeing her with the lens of a, you know, daughter. Does that mean that would it be the same if it was an adopted daughter? That is what I want to know. Because it's like, literally, that's what it should mean for you. It's almost like, even if you've not legally adopted that child should feel like your child, right? You should have that same kind of responsibility towards that. And I just find that really, really quite horrific. But they do say that men mature a lot slower than women.
Yeah.
And this is just evidence of it, I guess. He's just not reached that maturity level. He's running after what it felt like not to be an adult and not adulting, not having the responsibilities and everything.
She'll get out of this stronger, I'm so sure. Like, it was really reminiscent of the movie. I keep talking about movies, but it was really reminiscent of Queen. Do you remember that movie Queen?
Oh, yeah.
When she sat in the coffee shop and he's like, oh no, I've changed, I'm more modern now, and you're not as you know you don't keep up with me. And she just kind of, you know, got out of that relationship devastated, lived her best life after that. And when he came crawling back, because they always do, they will come back. Even if they don't come back, you know that on some level they've realised that they messed up, but sometimes they've just messed up so hard that they can't admit it to your face.
The regret hits at some point.
Yeah, it does. So she's going to come out this stronger. I hope she finds herself a better partner and has the wedding that she dreamt of.
Yeah, hopefully this not put her off searching for love. The heartbreak is hard. It is hard. We all emerge from it stronger, don't we? Yeah, so I think that's...
Do we?
I think we do. I mean, I can't say I've been through major heartbreak. I've been through my own kind of experience of what I would term as heartbreak. You learn to live with that pain in some way. You do eventually get over it, and you do... My heartbreak wasn't on a romantic front.
On whatever front, any kind of heartbreak, right?
I don't think I was weakened by it. I felt stronger. It's made me a better person and appreciate what I have now, if that makes sense.
It makes you wiser, at least, I think.
I'm not... wiser maybe. I'm not sure about stronger, because I do think it makes you quite vulnerable as well when you go into like... Yeah. I feel it is the only kind of metaphor for it would be like when you break a bone. It's never quite back to 100%.
Yeah.
Oh, don't I know it?
That's what your heart is. Like, once it's been broken, there'll always be some niggly pain that comes up every now and then. Then it'll go away. Then it might just come back just a little bit. Yeah. And it'll bother you a little bit. It's like it's like what's happened to my back after I fell downstairs, isn't it?
My dodgy ankle.
It always comes back. It always comes back just a little bit.
For me.
Cold weather. That's when I start feeling my broke.
Yeah, mine gets triggered by sitting on the floor. Like, if I sit on the floor for too long, I need a cushion under my bum.
Yeah, you need this. Yeah, yoga block. Have you considered
No,
that?
okay, no, not a yoga block. It has to be a cushion. So you know how people say that, oh, if you've got a bad back, you should lie down on hard surfaces and whatever. That actually triggers it more. I need something soft.
You need something soft.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's what heartbreak is. It's like my broken back. Like you just
Yeah, because you can't erase the memory, right? You
Yeah.
can't, that's the thing, you can't erase memories. It just becomes part of you. But yeah, I do think that whatever life has planned for you after is better. Yeah, it's onwards and
Yeah.
it's always onwards and upwards, right? It's never,
100%.
it pushes you along your journey in a way. It'll hurt, but you'll find something better and you'll find someone worthy of you,
Yeah.
whoever you are, OP.
100%.
100%. I mean,
That
she's going
always
to
happens.
Bali anyway after this, so she's going to have a wicked time.
Oh, she is, for sure. I think it's the best way to get over something like that is just do something fun. You know, just don't wallow in it for too long. Find your girls, go on holiday. Ideally somewhere tropical.
Or whatever you like.
Yeah, you need somewhere to like relax. I don't think I could relax somewhere cold. But yeah, each to their own.
Not necessarily. You know, the best way to get over anything, I think, for me, okay, like for example, when our grandma passed away, I just went back to work, like immediately. Like you guys know,
Yeah.
I flew straight back to Mumbai, and we were filming like almost the next day after I landed, and it was continuously like she passed in February, and I think our film released, I think it was the back end of March.
Yeah,
So
it was.
I didn't.
Yeah,
Yeah, it was like back to back. I was working
because you
like
came
solid.
back right after.
Mm.
Yeah, I remember you came back
Yeah.
right after. Yeah, and I became a mum.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
if you're keeping busy, so even those people who want a holiday, which involves, I don't know, a cold, like, I don't know, Switzerland or something, somewhere that's a bit chillier, but you get to go out and explore and do whatever. Or you know what? If you just don't even want to do anything and eat ice cream on your sofa, that's absolutely fine. Whatever heals the wound is fine.
And then I was talking to someone recently about a breakup body. She said she got in the best shape of her life after a heartbreak. And now she's got, now she feels like amazing. And I was like, I need to know your secret. She goes, I actually said to her, I said, I need to know your secret. What are you doing? And then she's like, my heart got broken. And look at me now. I look fantastic. And I was like,
do you know, I
care.
would like to talk to some guy about how guys deal with heartbreak, because obviously I have a very, like, the perspective of how women deal with it is out there in like every chick flick. But I think guys are a tricky one, you know. I think they do always regret being the a-holes. I think they do regret it.
Do we have any volunteers in the audience?
Yes.
Let's get some forward.
Come on, lads. Come on, lads, talk about how did you get over your bad decisions? How did you get over your heartbreak? And how did you get, because I know all you lads who are listening, if, you know, I know all of you have broken up with somebody and then regretted it. So we want to know about that. How long does it take to regret it? Why do you do this stuff? Why? Yeah, why do you do this ridiculousness? Why do we see it in every chick flick?
But also, if it's happened to you, tell us about those experiences too.
Yeah.
Because it will have happened the other way around.
It definitely happens the other way around, because I think everybody's got the one that got away.
Like at the end of La La Land. The end of La La Land hits hard, man. But then, at the end of the day, I always feel like if it wasn't meant to be, it wasn't right for you. There's a reason why. There's a reason why it didn't. So even with this, the OP just now, if he walked out, then, you know, good, it's better he did it now than after you got married, after you had kids, after whatever. Like all those runaway dads that you hear about, that, like that guy on the cycle. Do you remember? There was a video that went viral of this guy who was like cycling, and some woman who was like an influencer, she stopped him. And I can't remember the question that she asked him, but basically he spoke about how he was considering leaving his wife and kids for some woman in a different country. Okay? Then this guy's face basically went viral because there was a woman whose husband left her and her kids, and he looked just like her husband who left.
Oh my gosh.
Oh no.
Yeah, so, and he was just like cycling up some road or something. I think in the end it wasn't the same person, it was just someone who looked similar. I mean, the long and short of it is that the woman who thought this might be her husband did actually leave her, and then the guy who was cycling was anyway thinking of leaving his wife for some other woman. So
that is bizarre.
Yeah, it is strange, the weird things that kind of trigger people to make these big decisions that are just a little cruel, but ultimately it is for the best. If a relationship get out of it. before you put your, what do you call it, roots down.
Yeah, and don't think about it for months, man.
Yeah, man.
Women like talking, as you can tell.
As a
always thinking about
generalisation, I'm sure there's some ladies who just don't, but as a generalisation, women do like to talk. But today has been filled with the different stories, some sad, some funny, some outrageous. So let's leave it at that. Let us know in the comments what you guys thought, and if you guys want us to read any other types of stories, random stories from the internet.
Give us suggestions, topics, anything. We'll be reading everything you write and waiting with bated breath.
Alrighty then.
Bye.
Bye.